Hello, I'm Cerberus Dark One, and with Splatoon 3 being a year old now, I thought I'd look at all the things I like as well as all the things that annoy me about this game. I've been playing since the beginning in Splatoon 1, and I've put way too many hours into Splatoon 2. It instantly became a favourite series of mine. It's one of those games where no matter what you're doing or how you're feeling, if you've got a spare 20 minutes and nothing else to do, you can always play Splatoon. I remember playing Splatoon 1 for hours, and then going on YouTube and watching others play it for hours. I just couldn't get enough of it. But I don't know what it is, but I'm really cool to Splatoon 3. I just don't feel the same excitement for it like I used to. Take the recent Splatfest. Personally, I hate Turf War, and I even hate Splat Zones just because it reminds me of Turf War. But I do play Splatfest, not just for the sea snails, but I like the special status the event has in game. However, does it bug anyone else that when you start the game up you can see Deep Cut on stage? Then you go to the news and they're in the studio? Then after they're back on stage again? Off the Hook used to do the news from the stage. Also, they had enough trouble coming up with good ideas when there were just 2 teams. Now there's 3? But what I do think is great, I tend to skip day 1. What I do think is great are the tricolour battles. These are basically the only things I play during Splatfests. But what nobody seems to realise is the defending team is supposed to come last, you idiots. The 2 attacking teams are meant to support each other. Imagine going into Rainmaker or Splat Zones and not actually knowing how to win the game. I also think it's a shame they ditched the reason for tricolour matches in the first place, so the leading team in a Splatfest has to defend their lead. And look at the lobby system when you're queuing for a match. At first you think this is great, I don't have to just stare at names coming in for 2 minutes, I can actually do stuff. But what can you do? You can test out your weapon, sure, but you can't use this console. You can't get a drink. You can't even bring up the X menu to check what the next session is, what the mode is, what the stages are. You're basically stuck in this room for however long it takes. I mean, what does it matter to the next match whether I have a drink or not? I guess they did let you look at lockers in an update, but I don't want to see other people's Twitter posts, so I turned that off, and for some reason lockers are connected to that. So I've never actually seen anyone else's locker, which makes lockers completely pointless to me. Another update they added recently was being able to recon stages from the X menu, which is a great improvement. I always thought it was odd to go all the way up to the lobby. I've skipped the news so I don't know what the session is. So you go up there and you find out, oh, it's this mode on this stage. Then you have to go all the way down here, recon whatever, then go all the way back up again. She should be in the lobby. What is she doing down here? And for some reason you can't recon Splatfest stages. You can't recon tricolour. You can't recon challenges. Why not? Perhaps it would be a bit pointless, but wouldn't it be nice to recon Salmon Run stages? Just to have a look around? Another person that should be inside the lobby is Merch. If I'm not using a drink to get abilities, then I'm scrubbing them. So I'm constantly going in and out of the lobby just to talk to this guy. This is turning into a bit of a rant, so let me cover some things I do like. Such as the ranked series I think works really well. Here's 5 matches over 40 minutes where you can just concentrate on doing well. And with series, open and X rank if you're high enough, you can, if you're like me, successfully avoid Splat Zones and Mari Mari Resort. You almost have every mode available to you all the time. I also like how large Splatsville is. It isn't a plaza or a square, this is a real place. I'm not quite sure why there are so many jellies here. And it's kinda sad you can't meet up with your mates out here. Monster Hunter lets you do it. But look at this place. And all these. Why are there only 4 shops? 5 shops? None of these are used for anything? Are you saying you can't have more than 1 shoe shop? Why doesn't Tony Kenza have his own shop? Just selling Tony Kenza stuff. Actually, there's no reason to even come down here, is there? Nothing is used. You can climb all the way up this tower for nothing, but you can't jump over the banister, so you gotta climb all the way down again. You only really go up and down these steps, except the camera hates it. Have you noticed that? There are no other steps in the game. I always walk up and down here. Which brings us to the DLC. Side order looks interesting. I don't know what's going on, or why Pearl is a drone now, but I will get this when it releases. I don't have it yet, as there's no way you can class Inkopolis Plaza as Wave 1. Wave 1? Oh, buy the DLC now, and in 18 months we might actually get around to making it. Why do Nintendo release their DLCs in waves anyway? You can't buy them separately. Just give it to us all in one go. I'm ranting again. Let me balance this out with my love of Big Run and Extra Work. I probably play more Salmon Run than anything else. I just find it super relaxing, even if you do have to revive your teammates a dozen times. But why does everybody agree to lure bosses in Big Run and Extra Work, but they never do it in normal Salmon Run? In fact, they do the opposite. The number of times I've retreated to basket to see my other three teammates swimming the other way. Yeah, you guys go and splat those things on the beach. Maybe we'll still make the quota. I think the new bosses, and the kings especially, are a great addition. But why only 2? Either have one or have multiple, but just 2 is a bit weird. So hopefully we'll get some more kings at some point, at least one more. And it would be nice if they brought Arc Polaris back as well. Speaking of which, I don't know if this is a love or a hate, but why are all Splatoon 2 stages identical to the previous game? The Splatoon 1 stages have been updated, but Splatoon 2 were just copied and pasted. No wait, they did make this part of Manta Maria slightly wider, and they added a pole to Wahoo World. But this is better than every new stage, which are basically an identical S shape. This is an S, this is an S. Oh, surprise, this is an S. I still can't tell the difference between eel tail and mincemeat. Not that it matters, as you're forced into using the same strategy for every stage. I think it's a big problem when all the best stages in Splatoon 3 are from Splatoon 2. When this game first released, I did the story, then when I came to multiplayer, it was spawning grounds in Salmon Run, and Sturgeon and Inkblot or whatever in Turf War. And I'm thinking I'm playing the exact same game I just left. And to be frank, do you like Deep Cut? I was never the biggest Squid Sisters fan, but I like Callie, and I absolutely loved Off the Hook. But with Deep Cut, I mainly just skip them. Love skipping the news, by the way, but I just don't care for any of them. I was watching a tournament and the host asked the teams who their favourite member of Deep Cut was. I don't know what I would say in that situation. Pearl? I do like the new weapons though. The wiper feels like it's always been in Splatoon, and the emotes are a lot of fun. Also, I didn't think I would, but I actually changed my splash tag all the time, every few weeks. Although it would be nice to have more variety of badges. Do we need bronze, silver and gold? Maybe keep the gold, but for the others, colour swaps would be better. The catalogue is good, the shellout machine is fine, table turf sure, but why don't you get something for completing story mode 1000% with every weapon? I don't know. Octo Expansion was the same way. You could give us something. But multiplayer is where the true game lies. The Splatoon has always had a great system. I like that they added checkpoints to Rainmaker, but I don't like the way they're implemented. Why do some stages have 2 while others only have 1? It really cuts down on your choices. That's if you make it through a match without somebody disconnecting. And I thought there were a lot of disconnections in Splatoon 2. I like that the matches auto end, but it happens so often. And then there's the 10-minute bans. Somebody goes poof and you get a ban. I don't know of anyone who's rage quitting Salmon Run. Timeout bans should apply to ranked only, not Turf War, and definitely not Salmon Run. If I get a ban, even if it's just a 3-minute ban, I'm turning off. Not only am I closing the game down, but I'm also turning off the Switch. I'm not sitting through that anymore. But I do still like Splatoon, even though it puts me in a bad mood half the time. And I will be getting the DLC, and I'll probably get Splatoon 4 when that comes out. But right now, I do feel my enthusiasm for the series waning. Splatoon is why I got a Switch in the first place, and an online subscription. In fact, Splatoon 1 is what brought me back to gaming. So, maybe it's about 80-20, in favour. What do you think? Are my hates and loves fair? Do you feel the same way? You tell me.